Evening folks, welcome back to the channel. Please let me know what the sound is like. When I streamed yesterday, apparently people couldn't hear the cars, so let me know whether you can hear people razzing around track, etc, etc. And now on to tonight's main event. So we are live from Lago Maggiore tonight. This is round 3 of P1RC's Renault Megane Trophy Cup. It's been a very popular league so far. 2 full lobbies for the first 2 weeks. Let's just have a flick over, see who's in. So Steve Scooby, West Ham Daz, Pilgrim Paddy, Stewie Mac, Fizz Ruckus, Winnie, Reg GT, Rear Wheel 72, Raul Cien, Baggy Snail, Zoozims, Dory Dory, and Don Dotter. I think we are waiting on 1 or 2 this week. Going to be a little bit late back from work apparently. So format slightly different. It is a reverse grid order from last week's results. And if I pull that up, 1 second people. So grid order tonight will be, I hope I've got this order right. Oh, I don't know. So we've got Pilgrim Paddy, Stewie Mac, Fizz Ruckus, Winnie 1989, Reg GT, Rear Wheel 72, Dizzy, Rousey Baba, Don Dotter, Big Les, Baggy Snail, Zoozim, Steve Scooby, West Ham Daz, and Dory Dory. It actually looks like a random grid, that one. Doesn't look like it's much to do with reverse order of last week, otherwise Zoozim's would be one end or the other. So yes, it's a 15-minute practice as there's no qualifying. Current standings, let's just throw those out to you lot. It's not a very good picture, let's turn it that way. So Zoozims, he's won both the first 2 rounds so far, scoring maximum points. He's also taken fastest lap as well for an extra point, so he holds top spot in this league. Dory, evening mate, Gamer Dad, how you doing, brother? Yeah, so Zoozim's leading the way at the minute. 2 wins and a fastest lap. Rousey Baba in second. He's had 1 second place. That looks like about a 5th. But he is sitting in second in the championship. Baggy Snail's in third. He had a good race last week, coming home second. He also got driver of the day as well, which gains him 2 more points. In 4th place is Weed Hopper. Again, new driver for the P1 boys, but he's been up there and putting it on the regulars for P1. So he's currently in 4. Don Dotter in 5th. We've got Dizzy in 6th. Let's just have a look. Reg GT in 7th. Then we drop down to Big Les Kun. Unfortunately, missed the first race of the season. He did come back in the second race and take bronze. So still good points on the board. And he got a fastest lap as well. So an extra point for Big Les. Still plenty of time left. It is a 10-week league. This is week 3. I hope we don't get any issues like we did the other night. I've had all sorts of issues the last few streams. I've managed to eject my game out my console. My whole internet turned off last night. I've deleted my own bloody intro videos. You name it, I've messed it up. So hopefully tonight's stream will go quite smoothly. Sean, evening mate, how you doing? Just can you guys just let me know whether you can, let me just nip to track and make sure you guys can hear all the cars and stuff. As I say, last night there were a few complaints that people couldn't hear the engines of the cars as they were ragging around the track, so please just let me know what the sound's like, whether I need to adjust myself or the game. loud when they come out of the pits. But yes, would be appreciated if you guys would just let me know what's going on with my own sound. Let me whip back to these results. So where were we? Big Les Kun, and then behind him we've got Rear Wheels 72, then Fizz Ruckus, Steve Scooby, Winnie, Dory. Okay, so it's looking like the grid order is set. It is a reverse grid order from last week, but I think the top 3 get random grid positions in this one. That's why it all looks a bit weird on the grid order. I think that's why. So yes, Winnie, Dory, West Ham Daz, Stewie Mac, and Pilgrim Paddy. That's the standings in this championship so far. Let me turn all the gubbins on. Here's the man himself, Baggy Snails, head honcho. I don't know why he's got a great big stupid sticker down his car, but you know, each to their own. Let's turn some bits and bobs on for you guys. I sound great. Okay, great, and the car sound okay. Great, that means I've adjusted my levels right. That means don't touch them again, you idiot. As I say, 15-minute practice, and then a 40-minute race. Losing things again. Big Les Kun then, just getting himself back on track, maybe. Maybe not. Perhaps he was just chatting to someone. Oh, Big Les, that's not the way to drive that car, mate. So they are mid-rear as well, these Renaults. It can make them a bit of a handful. They do seem to, the mid-rears do seem to suffer with a bit of snap oversteer, especially under heavy braking. Once you release the brake, I might just have a little bit of a snap round. They're interesting to say the least. But one of my favourite tracks tonight, Lago Maggiore. I've had some good races around here. Maybe not the results, but good races nonetheless. As I say, I'm not the fastest of racers. I'm not in it for the positions because I'm just not quick enough. And I'm in it more for the side-by-side, battling it out, putting the pressure on. I like that kind of. It doesn't matter if I'm in 11th or 15th or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all about them battles. So I think we've been looking at Big Les Kun for a little bit long. My fault. I'm rolling a ciggy. So, have we got a full lobby? Not quite. So we've got 14 in the lobby. May have one more joining us. I don't know. It'd be nice if it did. It's always good to have a full lobby. So Zuzims, this man is the current championship leader. All his liveries are this pink and purple. You'll have to remind me why that is, Zuzims. I can't remember why you do the pink and purple. Unless you just like pink and purple. Unfortunately, Zuzims is unable to use this livery in the Monday Night Minis hosted by Next Gen, because they are all genuine liveries that are used or have been used in the real life Mini Cooper Cup. So he's been assigned a Hyder Rider. Get yourself in there, brother. Unfortunately, he's not been able to do his pink or purple. It's kind of grey, I think, is Zuzim's livery for the minis. So Rousey Mbaba second in the championship. The Turtle Terrorist apparently likes to watch the streams. When he's not racing, he likes to watch the streams naked in bed. It's a bit worrying. Reg GT, let's see if we can get a good shot of your bonnet. Oh, you can't see it because you're ghosting. So if you're a regular watcher of the channel and you do stop to the end, you know my little comment I say before I leave. Yeah, Yeah, Reg GT's got it smashed on his bonnet. Tell your mate to tell your mum. Can't quite see it. It's a little bit blurred because of the biggity bing with the ghosting. What do you mean? Why aren't you allowed, Hyder? Who've you upset? So what time have we got now? It's 9:10. Alright, I'll expect another 5 more minutes of practice before we jump into this 40-minute race. I am just going to dive out and have a quick look at race settings because I'm too lazy to look at my phone. So tyre wear is on ×12, fuel is on ×3, so you're going to see a lot of rubber being depleted around this track. They do only start with half a tank of fuel as well, just under half a tank of fuel. And they've had the weight and power limited. So I think it's maximum power, minimum weight, as in, even though it says max power, I think that is what they've set it at, 359. And the weight of the cars is all the way down to 955. So they can use any tyres between racing hards, racing mediums and racing hards. The rest of it you don't really need to worry about. Slipstream, corner cutting penalties, things like that. Let's get ourselves back on track. Let's have a quick flick through the order, see how people are getting on. Don Dotter, we were just looking at him before I dived out. I can't kick you, mate. Nothing to do with me. Although I'm in the lobby, I'm streaming. It's not my choice. Do what you want. So nobody currently going backwards or sideways. Starting to look like people have actually got control of this car. Rider, give me shouts out on the PlayStation chat. Good lad. Ooh, Paddy just chopping Zuzim's nose off there. Not that it matters, these are only practice laps. Side by side then. Where they're heading down onto this naughty sort of triple apex corner. It's bizarre, this one. This is probably the hardest corner on the track for me. Still not quite figured out the braking zones in that one. I suppose a lot of it depends on which car you're racing in as well. So Stewie Mac, the Australian lawnmower. I've got to say though, Stewie, the last few times we've been looking at you, you've managed to keep it on track the whole race. So obviously getting a little bit more confident with that wheel you've got. Currently 10th, as I say, not these positions don't actually matter. Okay, so they are letting Hyder in then. He's just got to start from the back of the pack. Steve Scooby coming in for a fresh set. No, he's not. Well, they were running out to change his tyres, but didn't. So it will be a full lobby tonight. That's good. No problem, Red GT. Thank you for popping in and dropping a comment. It all helps the algorithms of YouTube find me, post me, that sort of thing. Also, it's full damage as well. Ooh. It's going to be interesting with 15 drivers in the lobby. That does mean if you do get damage on your car, it's a trip to the pits to get that repaired. If the damage is set on light, it does repair itself after about a quarter of a lap, half a lap, 30 seconds, something like that. someone. Oh, I don't think we're going to get time, actually. I was going to see if we could go for an onboard lap, but Baggy's just popped up that it's 2 minutes. And these are 2-minute 4 laps, according to Don Dotter's timing on the right there. So we may not see a full lap from Don Dotter. All those sausage curbs, you've got to be careful on those, they can unsettle the car. If you're sneaky enough, you can get 2 wheels either side of it without picking up a penalty. So into this bank turn, it's a lovely corner this is, you can get the power in so early if you get it right. So this is it, 10 seconds race start. Back out of that view as we see Don Dotter smash into the wall. Oh, and drive straight through Pilgrim Paddy. So, round 3, Autodrome Lago Maggiore for the Renault Megane Trophy Cup. It is a rolling start as well. So we've got Steve Scooby on pole, West Ham Dazid second, Pilgrim Paddy third, Stewie Mac fourth, Fizz Ruckers fifth, Winnie in sixth, Reg GT in seventh, Rear Wheel in 8th, Rowell in 9th, Don Dotter in 10th, Big Les in 11th, Baggy in 12th, Zuzim's 13th, Dory in 14th, and Hyder Rider bringing up the back of the pack. So we will just stick... Oh, we've had someone leave the lobby already. I'm not sure what's happened there. Someone's... Steve Scooby. Oh, it looks like everyone's jumping out this lobby then. Looks like we've got lobby issues again. So yeah, everyone out. Yeah, Steve Scooby just disappeared off that grid then. As the lights dropped, off he went. Dory's glitching, he's left the room, he's going to come back. Baggy Snail's saying the grid's wrong. So we've just got to reset the grid order and kick it all off again. We'll be straight into the race, no more practicing, I wouldn't have thought. You might see 1 or 2 lads try and get a sneaky lap in while Rowell's setting the grid order. Or not. All quite happily sitting in the pits. So we're just waiting for everyone else to get back in the room. Let's have a look. So we have got everyone in the lobby. It is a full lobby of 16. Just waiting for everyone to get on track then. So let's go on board for a lap with Zuzims. So around that first 90-degree left-hander into this hairpin. Hard on the power over to the right. Oh, he's not driving it too well. Let's jump on board with Hyder as he tries to put a hot lap in. So around this hairpin and down the hill then towards this awkward triple apex thing. So back on the power then. To this little chicane section over to the right. Trying to cut as much of these apexes as possible without picking up a penalty. There's 3 of those. Again, being careful not to run it too wide on the exit of this one. Try and get 2 wheels over that curb. 2 wheels over that curb, all the way over to the left-hand side. Full power now into 6 down the hill. See the speed pick up pretty quickly down here. Hard on the brakes at the 50 mark. Trying to cut as much of that apex as possible. You can drive all over that white stuff. Again, a very difficult corner to get right at speed. Easy to run wide onto that sand. And through this left-hander into the following right. Again, this is going to be an area where you're going to see people fighting it out for position. And then hard on the brakes for this double apexed. Sort of almost a hairpin. A little bit of a straight in between it. Trying to avoid that grass, then harder down the hill to the left. Hard on the brakes at the end of the curb there. Trying to hit that apex, running out wide. 2 wheels over the white. Back down the start-finish straight for a lap. So that is on board with Hyder Rider. Great big dark smoker stickers smashed all over his car. Good lad. Philip Winstanley, nice to see you, Smoker. Hoping you, my bro, will do better than I expected today. Who's your bro? I don't know who your bro is, Mr. Winstanley. Oh, is it Winnie? Is it Winnie 1989, 99? Is that him? I'm assuming. It would kind of fit. We'll see how he gets on, mate. So I've got everyone in the room. That's good to see. Race is about to begin. Let's hope we get no grid issues. Come on, Polyphony, sort it out. Don't make me catch a flight to Japan or Europe. Stop knocking on your door. You won't like that. So yeah, poor old Hyder Rider has to start from the back. He is a backup driver, really. So that is your brother then, Phil. Let's see how he gets on. Keep an eye on him. As I say, rolling start for this one. Pilgrim Paddy leads us round. This is it. And they're away. The power's down. They'll all slide into a line to try and get as much of a tow as possible. This will help into turn 1. As it will be a train rather than a melee into turn 1. So Pilgrim Paddy through clean. Everyone through clean currently. I'm not going to start getting into talking about which drivers overtaken which, because nothing's really kicking off at the minute. So all drivers through the first section cleanly. Pilgrim Paddy then leading us down this big hill, drifting that Renault. He's going to lose a lot of time to Stewie Mac behind. Why won't you now give me a different camera angle? Damn it. So we're on board with Stewie Mac as he tries to chase down P1 Pilgrim Paddy. He's got Fizz Ruckus not that far back as well, tucked in the slipstream, trying to gain as much as possible into this chicane section. He's closing in as well. You can see he's almost pushing Stewie Mac down the track there. He's had to back out of that one. Unfortunately, that's going to cost him a place now to Fizz Ruckus. No, sorry, to Winnie. Winnie's dived past it up into third then for Winnie. There you go, Phil. He's in. Oh, and unfortunately, Fizz Ruckus is being smoked by Reg GT as well. Reg GT is going for a move on Winnie, so Winnie's just taken that third. He's just lost it to Reg GT. So again, these drivers have to be careful. Full damages on side by side as they run into there. Then Winnie and Fizz Ruckus. Winnie's just had to back out, so he's down in 5th now, unfortunately. Rear wheel 72 in 6th. That Ralcian Baba 7th, looking to make a move down the inside of rear wheel as well. He's going to get this position done before the start finish straight. He has done. So rear wheel pushed down into 7th. There's 3 wide as they come around that last turn then. Susan's, Big Les and Don Dotter fighting it out. Susan's just tucking in the slipstream of rear wheel, trying to make a move. He's dived down the inside. He's going to get the position done before turn 1. He was looking to make a move on Winnie as well there. So it's a melee into that first turn. Oh my god, there's hundreds of people. I couldn't even tell you who was who, but then I had so many names crossed over each other. Oh, what an absolute melee running through here. How nobody's been punted off track yet, I am amazed that that's not happened. There's really clean driving going on in this P1 lobby at the minute. But up at the front, Reg GT has snuck through. He's up into P1. He's just had a little bit of a love tap off Pilgrim Paddy behind. That's compromised this corner there. But he's still holding half a second lead. Stewie Mack just about to be overtaken by Zuzims. So Zuzims up into second already. He didn't start from third at the back. This man is an absolute machine, I tell you. He's almost every lobby I commentate on, he wins it or runs away with it. It is quite astounding how good this guy is. I mean, just look at that. How much he's gone for a run past Reg GT for that pole position, for that top spot. There he is. And all you will see now is the gap between himself and Reg GT or whoever else is in second. He'll just extend and extend and extend for the rest of this race. He's very consistent. He's very fast. He will more than likely get fastest lap of the day. And looking at his previous results, he'll probably end up taking the championship. So the battle might be for second, third and fourth rather than the top spot. Reg GT still holding his own in second. He's got about 0.8 of a second over Raul, who's also forced his way through the pack. He's up into third. And he's slowly closing in on Reg GT as well. So Raul Cien is probably Zuzi's biggest threat. He needs to get past Reg GT as soon as he can and start putting the pressure on Zuzi's in front. Try and close that gap back down to him. Concierge, yes, I can give a big shout out to Robert DIY, whoever Robert DIY is. Is he racing? Or is it just your mate? Raul's then got past, he's got past Reg GT up into second. He's already 2.5 seconds back from Zuzims. Keep an eye on that and see whether Raul can close that gap back down. As I say, Zuzims is an absolute machine when it comes to racing GT. So Reg GT unfortunately was leading this race, now down in third. Stewie Max in fourth position. He's holding his own currently. Big Les Cunningham into fifth. Unfortunately, Pilgrim Paddy is just slowly but surely dropping down the order. He's under some serious pressure from Dory now as well. Dory's looking to make a move down the inside into this fast hairpin. See how much of this curb Dory takes. Oh, not as much as Pilgrim Paddy. But Dory up into sixth. Pilgrim Paddy now pushed down to seventh. Hyder Rider's not doing too bad. He started at the back of this race. And up into eighth. Winnie, unfortunately, was fighting for a podium position. He's been pushed all the way down to ninth. Oh, he's holding damage as well. That's not going to be any good. That's going to be slowing him down. His front wheels and his aero at the front are damaged. So we'll see whether he decides to pit. He has only got a quarter of a tank left, so he might pit early, but maybe Winnie. We'll see what he does here. Yes, he is. He's coming in to get that repaired as soon as possible. That's going to affect his lap times, lap after lap. So Pilgrim's in the pits also. He's also holding a bit of damage. So he's going for fuel and tyres. Winnie going for fuel and tyres as well. West Ham Daz now down in 8th position. Baggy Snails 9th. He had a good race last week, came second. Leading it for an awful long time, but evening Bob, how you doing? Evening CJ, how you doing? Yeah, he led the race for a fair old chunk, did Baggy Snails, and then Zuzims being Zuzims just took him out. He's under pressure from Dom Dotter in 10th currently. Right on his rear bumper running through there. He's run himself a bit wide as Baggy. Don Dotter going for a move down the inside. Will Baggy? No, Baggy's too far back. So he's lost that place to Don Dotter. Don up to 9th, Baggy 10th. Rear wheel 72 in 11th. Pilgrim Paddy 12th now. Oh, Pilgrim, you were at P1, mate. That's unfortunate. So Winnie's now down in 13th after his pit stop. Fizz Ruckus in 14th. Again after the pit stop, and Steve Scooby now after his pit, sitting at the back of the pack. So Zuzims, he's not managed to run away with it yet. Raul Siembaba's kept him in check, 2.6, 2.5 seconds. Well said, CJ. He's run himself a bit wide there, though. I don't think that's compromised him. I don't think he's picked up a penalty as well. I'm not sure whether that's a penalty pickup spot. But he has managed to keep that gap consistent between himself and second place Raul. 2.5 seconds between these two drivers. A shout out to the people that subscribed today. You know who you are. And a not shout out to the people who unsubscribed this week. I've had 2 people leave this week. What the hell, people? That's not cricket. Robert DIY in 3rd position. Yeah, he's probably not anymore. Who is Robert DIY is what I need to know. Conzi Air. Is it this man? Reg GT. With your name being Conzi Air and him having a great big Irish flag above his car, I'm kind of putting 2 and 2 together here. Tell me if it makes 5, but I think I'm on the case with that one. So Dory's hounding him though. Let's go for a bit of that. Different lines there through the little chicane section. Let's see if Dory can close the gap, so you can see how much the toes affecting Dory down this hill. Easily sweeping past Reg GT. So unfortunately Reg GT's been pushed to 5th, all the way over that white curb in there. So up into 4th for Dory as he looks to chase down Big Les Kun in front. Big Les Kun, he's pretty quick in these things. He's had some good results in a few of the leagues I've commentated on. He was doing alright in the GTTCCs and the GR3 team versus team event. I was right, Conzi. Ha! My powers of deduction are no match for something. So this man's Robert DIY then, as he comes in the pits following Dory in. Stewie Mac stopping out. He's got a couple of, maybe a lap's worth of fuel left. Let's hope he's not underestimated that. I think he's got plenty left in that tank. Zuzim's also just come out of the pits, so he's down into 4th currently. Raul's stopped out. So this is where the time's going to be won or lost between Raul and Zuzim's, these pit windows. Big shout out to Panther and Queen Bee as well from Conzi Air. Is that your mum and dad? The Panther and Queen Bee. Kind of sounds like that might be your mum and dad. Tell me if I've got that right. So let's just have a look at this then. So Raul's 8 seconds on the road, 8.1 over Big Les, who's also stopped out. He's on a tiny bit of penalty as well, Big Les, but that will be easy to clear. And he's got 9 seconds over Stewie Mac in 3rd. Stewie Mac is under some serious pressure from 4th place Zuzims, who has just pit. So it's all to do with how much time Zuzims can make up over Raul in these pit stops. So just have a look at the time between Big Les and Zuzims. It's sticking about the same, about 9.5. The same with the time between Raul and Big Les as well, 8.7. So Raul's in. Big Les will probably be in. Let's see where Zuzims is. So he has only got the last turn to go. He is going to keep his lead. The other guys have to take on board fuel as well. That's going to slow their pits down. It all depends how much fuel they do take on board though. So Raul's come out the pits. He's only taken on half a tank, whereas Zuzim's decided to stick a full tank in. So looking to run long then, Zuzim's on the mediums. say, Raoul has chucked half a tank in to keep himself in front of Zuzim's, 3.1 seconds over as well. And his car will be slightly quicker because it's lighter. It'll be on the lap fresher tyres. Zuzim's running massively wide there. Don Dotter now up into third position. So I assume, looking at Big Les down in 6th, he's also taken on, full tank of gas. So that's why that's pushed him out of third position. A lot of work to do for Big Les then to get back onto that podium. So Pilgrim padding back up into 7th. Baggy Snails 8th. Reg GT 9th after that pit stop. He's holding a chunk of penalty as well, 0.4 seconds. Oh, there's a bit of a battle going on behind. Hyder Rider and Winnie battling it out for 10th. Hyder Rider currently winning out. Winnie putting him under some pressure though. He's in that slipstream. He's just had to back out before that chicane section, which allowed Hyder Rider to sneak up the road a little bit. Winnie's not letting that one go. Steve Scooby is also up a position. He's now 12th. Fizz Ruckus 13th. Tyres are looking pretty battered there, Fizz. So Stewie back out on the fresh tyres. Looks like he went for 3/4 of a tank. West Ham does. So he's been in the pits also. Currently sitting at the back of the pack. He might be able to get a position or two if the guys in front pit. If we look at Fizz Ruckus' tyres, he'll have to be in pretty soon, I'd have thought. He's going to be losing traction left, right and centre with those soon. So Chukasel's back onto the front. Rousey and Baba still leading this race. 3.9 seconds he's got over Zuzim's then. So that's just extended to 4. Has Raoul played his strategy to a T? He's extended a bit more, 4.2 over Zuzim. So that's the extra weight that Zuzim's is carrying with the full tank. As I say, Zuzim's is not a slow driver at all. He's just gained that 0.2 of a second back up through there. Dundotter rolling round in 3rd then. He will have to pit soon, looking at his fuel and tyres. So Dory currently holding 4th position, but he's being hounded by rear wheel behind him. They on slightly different strategies, yeah. So Dory's almost got half a tank, and rear wheel's he's got just less than 1/4 of a tank now. So different strategies, slightly more worn tyres on rear wheel's car as well. So that's why Dory's able to just slip down the road quite easily. So it looks like rear wheel's not going to be able to make a dent into Dory's time yet. Big Les Cunt trying to fight his way back through the pack to get up to those podiums. He has about dropped that penalty off though. So we'll come back to him, see how he gets on in a couple of laps time. So Baggy Snails up in 7th then. He's still got Reg GT hounding him. Reg GT looking to make a move down the inside there, and he does. He takes that position. It's that silly badge down the side of your car slowing you down, Bags. What's that all about? I want to take that off me. So Reg GT pushes himself up into 7th. By the way, Conti, right? By the way, if you're still listening, Conti, your mate Robert DIY Reg GT has got the best sticker on his bonnet. Look at that. Tell your mates, tell your mum. That's my slogan. What a guy. So Hyder Rider in 8th then. He's managed to come out of that fight he was in. So Baggy Snail just back out of the pits then in 9th. Winnie still 10th. His tyres looking pretty battered as well. Stewie Mac in... Oh, Stewie Mac's 11th. He's gone for hard tyres, so looking to run extremely long then, Stewie. Fizz Ruckus 12th. West Ham does 13th. Steve Scooby battling out with Pilgrim Paddy for 14th. So he's also out on the racing hards. There's Steve Scooby looking to run long again. Pilgrim Paddy, been in the pits, fresh tyres and half a tank, but unfortunately sitting at the back of the pack. So if you are listening, please vote for your driver of the day in the comments. They do get awarded extra points for driver of the day. So if you see someone who's doing a sterling job, let us know. I've never met the guy. I spoke to him once or twice on PlayStation chat, and he's popped in the lobbies. That's as much as I know Reg GT. Mr. Buckley. So Zuzim's losing more time to Raul in front, 5.1 seconds. As I say, Raul will have to pit earlier than Zuzim's, but if he can get a bit of a break and extend up the road from him, it might just play out. So we'll keep an eye on this little fight as it progresses throughout the race. Let's try and find... Here we go, let's go on board with our man Reg GT, if my paddle work, damn it. So let's do an onboard inside view. So hard on the brakes, then before the end of the wall, into this 90-degree left, little squirt of gas into this hairpin. Again, easy to run it onto the grass there. Trying to stick two wheels either side of that white line. Across this curb, around to the left. Trying to feather the throttle a little bit, easy to spin the car out there. Into this third gear, almost hairpin. Firing it down the hill again towards this triple apex thing. So I'm trying to follow the outside of this track until the actual second apex just here. I never seem to get that right. I'm running it out wide there. So up towards the chicanes, over to the right. Hard on the brakes at the end of the curb in there across that first apex. Try not to cut too much of the second apex onto the third apex. Not running it too wide as Reg GT has just done. Trying to stick two wheels either side of that sausage. Two wheels over that wide curb, running it out to the left. Full power now as we head down the hill towards the bank turn. Braking at the 50, unable to quite get that apex right. Again, easy to run it out on the left hand side there onto that sand. So into this big left right chicane. Quite easy to run it out wide on the left here if your tyres are a bit battered. And again, braking into this right hander. This little squirt of power again. And on the brakes for the second part of this right hand turn. Easy to run it wide onto that left hand side as you turn it right back down the hill towards the start finish straight. So braking at the end of that curb, across the apex, running out wide to the right, two wheels onto the white line, just like that, and then across the line for Reg GT. Sticks in a 2:03.3 for that. So let's just chuck ourselves back up to the front. I think we've just missed Reg GT, possibly getting it all squirrely, but too late, we missed it. So Raul has, unfortunately, it looks like Zuzim's. Zuzim's has come into the pits again. Fresh set of tyres. So he's lost more time to Raul. He's 11.3 seconds back. Raul's going to lose this position when he takes tyres and fuel on. But then Zuzim's will have to pit after that, giving Raul the place back. It's thank you very much, Conti. Or thank you very much, Reg GT. So yeah, these positions are going to swap between Raul and Zuzim's as they come in and out the pits. It's different strategies they're running. Raul is losing a bit of time to Zuzim's now. Zuzim's out on those fresh mediums. He has lost half that tank of fuel as well. So that gap at 10.5 now between Raul and Zuzim's. It was 11.7. Maggorie still holding that third position. Don Dotter's closing him in. Big Les Kun has pushed himself up into fifth. And like I say, with the proximity of the two drivers in front, it shouldn't be long before he's getting into a fight and looking to get a position or two off those. Dotter's holding a bit of a penalty as well, so that's going to help out Les as he tries to drop that. Dotter looking like he was trying to make a bit of a move on Dory there, but a little bit too far back, I think. So Dory still holding that third position. Dotter fourth, Big Les fifth. Yeah, mate. Yeah, that's old Big Les. Reg GT now in sixth position. Tyres looking pretty battered there, Reg. Baggy Snail still seventh. He's managed to drop rear wheel 72 a little bit. 1.2 seconds the gap between those two drivers. Hyder Rider, so he's been back in the pits recently. Fresh set of tyres. Down in ninth position. Stewie Mack in 10th. He's got West Ham Daz right on his rear bumper. Oh, Stewie Mack's running a little bit wide through that hairpin. Is that going to allow West Ham Daz to make a move? It doesn't. Little flash of the lights from West Ham Daz just to let Stewie Mack know he was there. Stewie Mack's got a good line through. West Ham Daz got a good line through there. I thought Stewie Mack would run himself wide. He's managed to keep in front of West Ham Daz so far. Closing in West Ham Daz slowly. Can he get moved up before the hairpin at the bottom of the hill? He's right on Stewie Mack now. Almost side by side as they run down the hill. Stewie Mack's got the inside line into this hairpin. He's gone defensive. They are side by side as they hit this. So will West Ham Daz go for a cutback? Doesn't. Stewie Mack's got the better line through there. Keeps that 10th position. Unfortunately, Stewie Mack's unable to make any headway past him. They're still putting him under some pressure. This position could swap and start finish straight any second. So let me just chuck myself up to the front because Zuzim's now takes top spot. Raoul has obviously come in the pits. He's gone for another set of racing mediums and just over half a tank of fuel. He himself is now 7.2 seconds back from Zuzim's. Zuzim's is holding just under half a tank. He's got 2 lap older tyres. So again, he will have to come in before Raoul. But I think they're going to come pretty much neck and neck as it comes to the end of this race. We are over the halfway mark, just 14 minutes left. Let's look for a bit of action on track. So Dotter still comfortably in third. Big Les come up into fourth already then. The drivers in front, I believe, have pitted. That's allowed Big Les up into fourth. He's got a big old chunk to Dotter in third though, 10.9 seconds, almost 11 seconds. To try and make up over Dotter. Big Les was sitting in third position. He's also been in the pits, fresh tyres, whereas Dotter hasn't. He will have to stop before Big Les. That might allow Big Les to take that position off him, depending on the amount of fuel that Dotter takes on board. So Reg GT back up into fifth then, but he will pit. Looking at those tyres, he's got Baggy Snails closing him in pretty damn quick now. Still dragging rear wheel along as well. So Dory back out the pits in 8th, fresh tyres, just over half a tank. Hyder Rider in 9th position, having a clean race, but a bit of a lonely one currently. West Ham Daz, he was in a bit of a fight with Stewie Mack. Stewie Mack, I think, is just... No, he's not. Stewie Mack's got it wrong. So Stewie Mack's got it wrong, and that's just allowed West Ham Daz to sneak through and take that position. Sorry, I jumped in too many places. So West Ham Daz up into 10th then, Stewie Mack 11th. He's being pressured by Winnie down the hill into the start-finish straight. So Steve Scooby pits. Winnie and Stewie Max side by side down the start-finish straight. Oh, so Winnie's just tucked in the slipstream. Stewie's never going to make it that easy for you, mate. I think it's time for some of that. So we're on board with Winnie as he chases down Stewie Mac in front. He's on slightly more let's just flick up to, Stewie Mac's running it a bit wide. He's given Winnie a bit of an advantage there. I think Stewie Mac's tyres are pretty much as battered as Winnie's. They are. He's out on the hards as well, so that's going to be less grip straight away. So Winnie just keeping Stewie in check, waiting for his moment. He's only 0.3 of a second back, so he'll be able to close that gap. Oh, he's lost a lot of that now. 0.7 of a second and extended. I was just about to say he was looking good to make a move down the hill into the hairpin. He's lost all that time to Stewie Mac. He's closing it down, but I don't think he's going to be anywhere near close enough before the end of this straight to make a move into that turn. But if he can stick with him, he might get a move down the start-finish straight. Oh, Stewie Mac trying to drift that Renault. Winnie just driving around the outside of him then, so Winnie does take that position off of Stewie Mac due to Stewie Mac trying to drift the Renault. Steve Scooby's left the room, that's not good. So he's not having a good race, obviously. So back up to the front of this one. I will flick through the order in a second. Raoul in P1. Zuzim's right on his rear bumper now. So they are almost on identical strategies now. Just under half a tank of fuel both of them on slightly worn racing mediums. Raoul's are probably a lap or two older than Zuzim's. But half a second between these two drivers. Raoul going defensive. He knows that Zuzim's is liable to make a move into this turn. A bit of a late lunge from Zuzim's. He decides against it. Raoul keeping that position then. Zuzim's is holding a bit of a penalty, but I'm sure Zuzim's is a competent enough driver to lose that and stick on the back of Raoul as well. He might even try and just use a bit of slipstream and let off the gas a little bit to drop that penalty. We'll see. It's turning out to be a good battle. I did say these two would come together at the end of the race, and here they are, bumper to bumper. Let's see if Raoul can fend him off for the rest of this race. Well, we've got 9 minutes left. Will they have enough fuel? I don't know. Still got that penalty then, Zuzim's. He doesn't make a move into the start-finish straight, but he does drop his penalty right there. So it's all for Zuzim's to do now. He's got 1.1 seconds to catch up on Raoul. He's already got that down to less than a second. As I say, he's just very consistent, this guy. It's every lobby I've commentated on. He's up the front. He's either winning it by a stretch or coming up pretty damn quick. Yeah, didn't have the best of races on Monday in the minis. He spanned the first race out. Was it the first race he span out Zuzim's? Can't quite remember. But he was leading it again. He's got a bit of a gap over Potter and Pav, but then unfortunately just dinked a wheel on the grass and chucked himself into a wall, which put him right down the pack. He did sort of come back a little bit, made up a couple of places, but Hunty, evening mate, how you doing, brother? But unfortunately he wasn't able to get back into race 1 on Monday. We had a good race 2. Like I say, he's just a machine, this guy. So he's all over Raoul through here. So Zuzim's, he's looking down the inside into this turn. He's got the inside line. Oh, lovely driving between those two. So can Raoul keep the pace up and keep the inside line? He does do. That means he's going to keep the position as he runs down the hill. because he will have the inside line into the first turn. But Zuzim's, oh, I thought Zuzim was going to make a late lunge, but he didn't. It's allowed Raul to keep that top spot. He's trying to drop Zuzim's, not give him the toe. 0.2 of a second between these two drivers. I don't want to miss this, but I'm going to have to flick through to some of the other drivers. Yeah, I'm going. That's it. Don Dotter in third. Whew. Holding a bit of a penalty though. Big Les Kunz closed him down a bit, 1.5 seconds, but he's also holding a bit of a penalty. Can Big Les take that third position and get back on the podium before the end of this race? We will keep an eye on that. Dory in fifth place, so he's pushed himself back up the order after the pit stops. He's got all sorts of stickers on the back of his car. Baggy Snails pushed himself up into sixth, so making up another position. He's got past Reg GT, that's why. So has Rear Wheel 72, that's pushed him up a place as well. So unfortunately Reg GT down in 8th currently. Hyder Rider 9th, he's slowly closing in on those drivers in front. Fizz Ruckus 10th, West Ham Daz 11th, so has Fizz Ruckus, let's just have a look. I think Daz has pit, that's allowed Fizz Ruckus through, but West Ham Daz is looking pretty dangerous down the start-finish straight. So they are side by side into turn 1. Oh, West Ham Daz drives around the outside, lovely move Daz, lovely. Perfect, no contact, very clean, plenty of room given, very impressive. So Fizz Ruckus down in 11th, Winnie. Unfortunately, he's kind of out on his own a little bit. He's got Fizz Ruckus 15 seconds in front and Stewie Mac behind 2.7. Stewie Mac is on fresher tyres. Oh no, he's not. So Winnie's come in the pits as well. But Winnie has chucked in so much fuel that OPEC are questioning him. The Americans are going to come for you, Winnie. You're going to need some freedom with that much oil in your car. Fuel and stuff. So unfortunately, Stewie Mac in 13th, Pilgrim Paddy in 14th, and we have lost Steve Scooby, which is a bit of a shame. But I have just seen, out the corner of my eye, Zuzim's come in the pits for a fresh set of racing mediums. Ah, what's happened to Raul? Oh, Raul. Oh, so I did see something pop up in the chat about a sorry from Raul. It looks like he's got that wrong. He's had to repair his car, so he's down in 4th position now, Raul. He was in P1 trying to fend off Zuzim's. It looks like he spun the back end of that Renault round and planted it into a wall, causing all sorts of damage at the back. So that has just allowed Zuzim's to win this race comfortably. So he's got a 14.5 second lead. We've only got 4 minutes left of the race. His closest rival, Raul, has spun himself off track. He is back up into 3rd though. He's got himself past Big Les Kun. So it's looking like Big Les Kun is not going to be able to get back on the podium then if Raul's going to start stretching his lead away as he is doing. Unfortunately, Don Dotto is way too far up the road for Big Les and possibly Raul to make any moves on actually. Raul's got 12.5 seconds to make up on Don Dotto. I don't think that's going to happen in a lap and a half. But Don is holding fastest lap of the race. 2.2, 2 minutes and 2. But, as I say, I've just seen this man come in the pits, Zuzim's. He likes to stick in a bit of a last minute fastest lap of the race. So what he'll do is he'll run his fuel down to nothing, as he has done. He's got under a quarter of a tank. He's come in the pits for a fresh set of tyres. And he's sticking it. So that was a 2 minutes 0.4. So he's got 0.2 of a second to make up to try and take that fastest lap up of Don. And as I say, it wouldn't surprise me if he does it. Dotter then, he's going to get some good points on the board from tonight's race, bringing home that 2nd position as long as he can fend off Raul and keep it on track. Well, Raul's still not out of the woods yet. He's got Big Les Kuntz still right on him. Big Les Kun might be able to make a bit of a move at some point if he can get in the slipstream and get a tow down a hill towards one of the hairpins or something. So it might still be on for Big Les. So nothing in it between those two. Baggy Snail's now up into 5th. He's got past Dory. Rear Wheel's not managed to do that yet, but he's got Reg GT pushing him down the track almost. So 3 different lines through there. Bit of glitching from Dory by the look of it. Not having another earthquake, I hope, Dory. That did happen. He was unable to race because the whole of his country started shaking. Struggling is Dory. His tyres are looking absolutely battered compared to the oh no, they're pretty battered as well. Rear Wheel 72 losing out there. Reg GT getting through. Rear Wheel 72 is actually on the better tyre, but he is almost out of fuel. Hyder Rider in 9th, then West Ham Daz holding that 10th position still. He'll be happy with that, I know that. Fizz Ruckus in 11th. Stewie Mac 12th now, Winnie 13th, unable to take that position off of West Ham Daz then, sorry, off of Stewie Mac. And Pilgrim Paddy still rolling around at the back. So we have only got 30 seconds on the race timer. So this will be last lap for 1 or 2 of the drivers. It will be last lap for 17 seconds left. So Raoul will, Zuzums will cross the line to finish the race in P1. He does take fastest lap of the race. I told you, lot. 159.8 right at the end there. Sneaky. He's had a 159.2 as well on lap 14, but he was obviously cheating, and 159.1 on lap 11 as well, but he was obviously cheating. Taking a little bit too much corner, possibly. So yeah, he's had a good race, Zuzims. He's battled his way from 3rd at the back up to P1. He's been battling out with Raoul for a bit, but unfortunately Raoul decided to do a pirouette off track and allow Zuzims to take that P1 and run away with it. It's a bit of a shame. So we are over the race time then. You can see the final lap flashing in the top left. Zuzims has 3 corners remaining. You will see 1 or 2 little flags pop up next to some of these drivers. Oh no, you won't, because they've all crossed the line. Or have they? No, they haven't. I think some of the back markers may have already crossed the line, but we'll stick with Zuzims as he comes across the line. So that's all great big handbrake from him as well. Thank you very much. So Zuzims takes that one comfortably in the end, with a fastest lap as well. Sneaky. So Don Dotter's going to come home in 2nd position. He'll be very happy with that. He also chucks us a great big handbrake. Thank you. We like a bit of that. Raoul Siembaba. He won't because he's German. Oh no, he does. Raoul. Amazing. Oh my God, there's cars pirouetting everywhere. So fantastic. That's what we want to see. Baggy Snails. Come on, Bags. So Raoul in 3rd, Big Les in 4th, Baggy Snails handbraking across the line for 5th. Baggy Snails handbraking across the line for 5th. Baggy Snail. Oh, Dory coming over straight for. Oh, Reg GT's just dropped his penalty. Oh, so Baggy comes home in 5th. Dory comes home in 6th. Rear Wheel 72 in 7th. Reg GT dropping his penalty right at the end there, losing a place to Rear Wheel 72. 8th place for him. Hyder Rider 9th. As I say, he was a reserve driver for tonight, but not a bad result. He did have to start from the back of the grid. West Ham Daz came home in 10th, so held that position after all that. Fizz Ruckus 11th. Damn you. Stewie Mac in 12th. I think Winnie in 13th and Pilgrim Paddy in 14th. Unfortunately, we did lose Steve Scooby halfway through this race. Not too sure what that was about, but that Some good racing right there. Oof. Let's just see what everyone's saying in the chat. People are saying all sorts of stuff. Yes, some good racing there. It's quite an easy win for Zuzims in the end, with Raul chucking himself into a wall. That's never going to help with your race, is it? Looks like he might have caused a bit of chaos as well, because he started apologising on stream. Oh, I'm glad you like that, Sean. Fizzruckus already diving out the room. So yeah, really good racing. Some side-by-side action, plenty of space given, nobody getting punted off track. I didn't actually see anyone spinning around doing circles or anything, so very respectable race. Everyone sort of keeping it on track. One or two wide corners, but as expected at when you're racing. Yeah, Phil, I'll tell you, if you check back on any of the other streams or watch the next few streams that Zuzims is in, you'll see, mate. It's I don't even know. It's crazy. Don't get me wrong, he's not the fastest guy out there, but he's pretty bloody quick and he's pretty consistent. So that is about it. Why does everyone say thanks Dark Smoker for the race? I'm not racing, you donuts. Anyway, that's about it for this stream. I myself, what day are we on today? Thursday. I myself am back tomorrow for Super Swear Fest from me. It's actually me behind the wheel, not commentating, getting a little bit emotional and calling people out. That's pretty much my race. I'll qualify badly. I will probably race pretty badly, swear a lot, have a 10-minute break, race really badly again while swearing a lot, and then finish the stream. That'll be Friday night's session for me. And then back Sunday night for the P1 boys again for the Super Formulas, which they've got running. That's 9 o'clock. Monday at 8:30 for Next Gen Mini Cooper Cup, sponsored by Chewit Racing. Tuesday off and back on Wednesday for Next Gen Racing again. Sorry, the mini starts at 8:30. Next Gen team versus team on Wednesday. That's the GR3 event. That's also 8:30. That's been a really good league as well. And then back Thursday for round 4 of this. So you know what's coming up. You know when I'm about. You've got my channel, like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. I think that's pretty much about it. So, who's just chatting? No problem, Bags. No problems. Why didn't you give me a handbrake coming across the line? Slacking. Not having it. Next week, or you're banned. I won't commentate on you. That's it. I'll ban you from my own stream. Yeah, you know what's coming up. It's the usual bump from me. So, as I say, I hope you like what you're watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. My name's Dark Smoker. Oh no, I've not said it. I've not said it. Tell your mates. Tell your mum. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.